So before we begin, before we proceed to the actual contents, I'd like to mention that unfortunately today we will not be having a live Q&A session. So due to the time restraints, so we would be grateful that in the case if you have questions, please forward your questions to Ella, and then through her we will be able to respond to you after the session. But due to the time restraints, we're not going to be receiving questions in the live format. Okay, so as you know, on December 7th, a new MEDIT Link version 3.2.0 version has been released. And a week before that, at the end of November, the MEDIT sales training team and the sales representatives, we've sent out a newsletter to our dealers that included a video, an instructional video that explained the main new improvements and new functions of the new MEDIT Link version. So today we're not going to be going over all of those things because that has already been explained. So hopefully you've had the chance to watch that video. If you haven't, please talk to Ella and she will be able to redirect you to those materials. But today, the purpose of our live demo is to just really bring your attention to the two most key outstanding improvements in this new MEDIT Link version. And the first one is improved scanning experience. And the second is improved patient and case management. So really, we just thought that these are the two things that all of the dealers and users should be aware of, because it would be just enough to say, hey, with these two improvements, wow, the new MEDIT Link version has really gotten a lot better. It's a big improvement, big enhancement compared to the previous version, which is significant enough for you to pay attention and to apply it into your local sales or marketing activities. So we hope that you will remember from today these two things, two key points. Also, if you've been with us for long enough, maybe some of you were with us when we were launching the i700 intraoral scanner. And so during the launching event that time, we've mentioned something like that we were able to achieve a 2 times faster scanning performance with the new scanner. So today, with the demonstration that we're going to do with the new MEDIT Link version, you will be able to witness once again how we're getting a much better scanning performance with just the software upgrades. I hope you're always mindful of MEDIT's vision, MEDIT's commitment to providing the best software and the best updates to all of our users free of charge, meaning they can use the old scanner, they can use their same old PC, and just by upgrading the software, they will be able to experience a totally different scanning experience. So in the past year or so, maybe we've been focusing more on introducing the apps or some specific scanning functions and things like that. But in the new MEDIT Link version, we're sort of coming back to the basics. And so we would like to demonstrate to you to show how our research and development team has been working on improving the technology so that the experience can become better. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to do a live demonstration of the two MEDIT Link versions. The previous one, 3.1.4, and the newest one, 3.2.0. So for just for comfortableness, I'll just refer to them as the previous MEDIT Link version and the newest MEDIT Link version. Okay, so we're doing it live so that you can witness for yourself that this isn't fabricated, this isn't like a staged video, but this is live and this is real. And hopefully your internet connection is also good enough to be able to see the right video quality. We hope that that's the case, but unfortunately we can't control what's been showing on your screens. So after this session, we do hope that if you haven't install the newest MEDIT Link version, that you will do so right away and that you will try it out for yourselves. because it's important for all of you to be able to get a touch of it. Okay, so once again, we'll be grateful if you keep your questions and just forward them to Ella, and we will answer them after the session ends. Okay, so we'll proceed now. So we've been saying that the scanning experience has improved. It's become faster, it's become more smooth, but what does it really mean? Because the FPS speed actually remains the same, but what does more fast and more smooth really mean? So we'll show you in the previous MEDIT Link version. My partner, Mr. Young, will do an arch scan. And well, he has more than 20 years of experience in the dental field. So if you're a person who is experienced with intraoral scanning, you might be your body is probably accustomed to scanning in the right way because you're conscious of like the scanning technology of the scan strategy. So with the previous version, you had no problems. You would say, you know, scanning is good. But what we want to say is if you're a less experienced user, if you're like at a beginner entry level, you might be thinking, oh, they said, you know, scanning is fast, so that means I could just scan along the arch and move my hand quickly and I will be getting data. But in that case, if you weren't kind of following the right scan protocol, you would experience interruptions and data acquisition. But of course, we want to be getting the right data for prosthesis in the future. So you can see on the screen how if you would move the hand, for example, too fast along the arch, scans would break sometimes. So beginner level users would sometimes feel that it's a little hard to be scanning with Medit. Now, in the new MEDIT Link version, you will be able to see that even if you're scanning quite fast, you can see that Mr. Yang is moving along the arch quite fast. We're not experiencing any interruptions. Or if we are, it's a lot fewer than before. So what we want to say is that beginner level users will definitely be able to see the difference, to feel the difference. With the new MEDIT Link version, scanning will become more effortless for them. And so you will be able to be acquiring data with less efforts. But of course, just because we're able to capture data without interruptions, it doesn't mean that we are getting the right level of data reliability. So it's a different issue. So you should always check whether your scan data is reliable on the side. That will be the same for all iOS brands. So we want to encourage you to be mindful of the data quality at all times. Okay, so the second thing that has improved, we'll show you in the previous version, once like you were scanning and sometimes the scanner would lose track. Okay, let's see if that happens. So you'd be scanning and sometimes the scanner would be losing track. It would take a little more time for the scanner to respond and to find its track back. So even though sometimes, for example, you would move your hand back to the right point where data acquisition has been cut out, because there's like a little delay between the hardware and the software recognition. Sometimes on the screen you would not feel it, so you would still be wondering, oh, maybe I'm still in the wrong spot, and try to move, here and there, and so the interruption would like continue. Sometimes, like I said, if you're an experienced person, that wouldn't happen, but with beginner users, that was the case. So in the newest MEDIT Link version, this has been improved. And we'll do a mandible scan once again. So you'll be able to see that we're able to scan, and either there are no interruptions, or even if there were interruptions where data recognition has failed, the scanner is able to come back to its track quite faster. So the experience overall becomes a lot more smooth, like we were saying. So let's just allow Mr. Young to finish the arch scan, the mandible scan, so that we can proceed to the occlusion scan. So I'm going to move on to the third point of how scanning experience has improved. So once again, in the previous MEDIT Link version, When you would be performing a bite scan, so sometimes either audit alignment would take a longer time, or sometimes it would fail, so you would have to do it manual alignment. Uh, Actually, today it worked quite well, but just in case, sometimes it was not as great. But in the new MEDIT Link version, we will be able to see that the occlusal alignment has become a lot more effortless. So as you were able to see, basically in a matter of like a second or 2 seconds, we're having auto alignment. So with this improvement, we think that there's, that the users will be able to save more time, and there will be less probability for them to have to redo the scans or do manual alignment. So the scanning performance and scanning experience has improved sufficiently. Hopefully you were able to see it with the videos on the screen. So we want to encourage you once again to try out the 3.2 version right after the session so that you can feel it for yourselves, because it's important. And also metal scanning has been improved as well. And okay, so one more thing, I guess I wasn't really planning on talking about, but I think it's worth mentioning is let's say I think Medit has been kind of like getting attacks from our competitors in the recent time, from especially minor class intraoral scanner companies. We're not going to name who they are, but we think you know who they are. So it seems that they're trying to like create some noise or fabricate an issue. And so recently we've been hearing this in the field with people saying, oh, with MEDIT scanners, there's a danger of getting double layered data. So, their scanners are, or scanning, their scanners are not as great, comparing to theirs. But what we want to say is, really in the context of the global exhibitions, we've seen their employees actually come to our booth and trying out scanning with our scanners and actually learning ways how to kind of like intently fabricate that double layering phenomenon. Basically what they would do is kind of like scan, I should say like vertically or parallel to the lingual side and then parallel to the buccal side, in a way that there would be not enough like matching points on the occlusal side, so that data would naturally not been fit to be matched. So they would do it in that intent way to create that illusion of a double layer. But what we want to say is that you are aware, or you should be aware, that with the recommended scan strategy of MEDIT, this can never happen, because we always do guidance to our users that they should first scan along the occlusal side and then proceed to other scanning. So if you have a clinician who says their data is double layered, that means that they have not been following the right scanning strategy. So this is not a relevant issue of double layering. No, that's not an issue for Medit. Also, I could say that, with those competitor iOS brands, sometimes they say, our metal scanning is great, and when you scan with their scanners, it looks kind of like the scanning are right. But actually, that could also not be quite true, because after processing, if you zoom into their data, you would be able to see that it's quite rough and uneven, which means that in many cases, it might not be fit for prosthesis. And of course, we want to remember that the whole point of intraoral scanning is not just to be, getting pretty images, but you're trying to get data that will serve for prosthesis fabrication. So in Medit's case, we're actually quite committed to showing the data as is, because we don't want to misguide the user. We want to be able to give them that opportunity to judge on the spot if they have gotten the right kind of data, because we don't want them to, get a call from the lab to say that, hey, actually this data is not fit for making prosthetics. Or even worse, we don't want them to get a final restoration and do fitting on a patient and find out that it's not fitting right. So yes, I guess sorry, I've gotten a little too much into like the details of the scanning. But the second thing that we wanted to bring your attention to is the improvement of the patient management. So as you will be able to see, what's now available is we have brought up the patient tab to the left side menu. So if you click on the patient menu, now you will be able to see a list of your patients. So if you click on the three buttons on the right and click edit, you will also have the option of editing more information or inputting more information with regard to your patients. Okay. But most importantly is, before it might have been a little inconvenient because you would have to like register each patient separately and then also search or filter for them one by one. So if the spelling wasn't right, it could become quite uncomfortable. So if you've registered the same patient, by mistake twice or whatever, now you have the option of merging. So you can select different patients and click on the merge button. So now you can merge patient information to have your, patient information more organized, better organized. So also now, if you move to the case box, we have the new option of exporting our cases. So if you click or select on certain files, you could export result files, or you could export a list of files, a case list, full list, or selected list. So we've prepared an example. For convenience purposes, we've already prepared it. Basically, if you just click on the export button, it will be exported in a CSV format, which is viewable in Excel. So this is an example of how you could extract data from your MEDIT Link account. And so this should be especially useful for, big clinics or DSOs that need to keep track of their statistics. So with this like Excel form, you could do filtering, and let's say you want to track how many crown cases you've done in a month, or like how many implant cases you've done over a year or whatever. So this tool should also serve to help you to be more efficient in your daily practices. So we explained these two issues, and we've really wanted to just keep this live demo simple and short to just say, hey, one, improved scanning performance and experience. Second, improved patient and case management. With these two things, the new MEDIT Link version is significantly better than the previous one. So just once again, by upgrading the software with the same hardware, same PC, you're able to get a far better experience. Okay, so thank you all for your attention. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Hopefully it was a good start to your day. So we wish you all the best of the luck in your sales and marketing activities. And yes, hopefully you enjoyed the rest of the week. Thank you.